Hi, Tea Society. Welcome back to the Antisocial Planet. Today we are checking out Stray Kids Hollow, and I'm nervous about this, okay? Between the teasers and the name Hollow, I just got a feeling that this is going to be a deep one, right? This is going to get me in my feels, and I'm not entirely ready for all of that. Looks like it's going to be a gorgeous music video, if nothing else, so maybe that will save me, maybe it will haunt my dreams, who knows? Yes, I'm checking out the lyrics first. Yes, I also understand that that means this might not be the most accurate in terms of translation or line distribution. I get it, okay? It's just so I can listen to the song first before we get into the music video, and also Japanese MVs. A little bit spotty when it comes to getting captions on them. So if there are captions, I'll put them on, and I'll keep an eye on any differences that we get in lyrics. That also being said, if you're new here and you don't like pausing, get out, because I'm going to pause. Now that that's all out of the way, let's just listen to this song, because I'm not gonna feel better about it the longer I wait. Oh god. The piano just went, oh, okay. Ooh, okay, sorry, not to pause immediately, but like that like piano starting and then it picks up with that like synth sound, only for it to have that, I don't know, like again, like hollow kind of boom sound in the like beat pad. Interesting. I just feel like with Stray Kids songs I need to turn it up. I live on the edge. Okay, first off, everyone sounds amazing. There's just something about a Japanese song, isn't there? I don't know what it is, but they always hit. But I was already like, oh, we got Felix singing, and I'm like, oh, we got Changbin singing. Love it. Love it. Look, I have a soft spot for Changbin vocals. I don't know, it's just the way it is, but like running forward blindly, right? And then like bucket list. But it's, even though I have this, like I'm checking things off that I want to do, I'm not satisfied. Like it's not bringing me the joy that I thought I would. Like I'm just checking things off. Even just like the running forward blindly is, I'm just continuing to move, but I don't actually know where I'm going or like why I'm going there, or it's not bringing me any kind of joy just because I'm continuing to move. But I'm also like, I don't want to stop moving. That is also scary. And they've touched on that in other lyrics too, of this feeling of just keep moving, just keep going forward, just keep rushing forward, because the alternative is stopping and actually sitting with how you're feeling, and that can be a really difficult thing to do, right? When you're going through a difficult time, where you have to accept the fact that you've lost that North Star, that thing that's guiding you forward, right? If you've lost the kind of spark that's pushing you forward, it can be really difficult to admit that to yourself, right? Wanting someone else to like step in and make that better for you, right? Like almost like relying on someone else to fill the void if you're hollow, right? Also that flip up from Sungmin, gorgeous. Like a lower range from my end. Picks up too. Ooh, sorry, like is it layered vocals or is it just with like piano? Either way, there's like the piano and the vocals like at the same time kind of like building up together. Interesting. Aww. Gorgeous falsetto. Ooh, okay, first off, it bops, but it's sad. The no matter where I am, I'm alone into that like falsetto with a bunch of it too, like this idea of going into a thinner sound, right? Like a falsetto is a very thin, light, breathy sound, right? So it feels a little bit more like vulnerable. And I think having this really like upbeat, forward pushing production is very much in line with, I'm just going to keep moving. If I just ignore it, it'll go away, right? If I just keep like doing things, like checking things off the list, like all these important kind of like bucket list things or big like life event things keep happening, then I can forget the fact that I'm feeling hollow inside, right? It's like, even if you force yourself to be alone, I'm hollow. It's like, even we hit the one line of with Tangman's that was like wanting someone to fill the void, and that didn't work. And it's, oh, even if I'm like alone, I'm hollow, right? It doesn't matter if I'm with someone or I'm by myself. Nothing seems to work. This was like the clip that we saw in one of the trailers, but it's not quite as distorted. So I wonder if that was like a trailer thing, or if we're going to get to the part later where it's not as distorted. But I think the distortion kind of works, right? Like it's like this internal struggle, right? Like things are distorting as you're ignoring it. And I also like that we repeat the hollow because it's almost like an echo effect, even with all of the like layered vocals that we had with Hyunjin's part where he's, I can't take it anymore. And then we had all of these layered vocals. It has this feeling of almost like an echo or like a natural kind of like reverb that you get in like an empty space, right? And it's, even if I like try to like forcefully fill the void, right, it doesn't work. Like I'm still hollow. I can't figure out how to make myself feel fulfilled, which is sad. It doesn't matter how much I fill that space, it gets swallowed whole, and it's like there's still just the void left behind. Which just make me think, because we got in the one teaser, I was like, oh, this reminds me, the shot reminds me of Super Bowl, which I was like, I don't know if that's like intentional or not, because we had the Japanese release for that song as well. But it also feels that's like Super Bowl, like all this imagery of like food and cooking and stuff. And now we're talking about how like you can't fill like an empty space. Like it doesn't matter how like gluttonous you may be to fill that void, it's still empty. Maybe we had all the trophies too in the teasers, which makes me think also, oh, it doesn't matter like how many trophies I get, how many pivotal, important life events that I go through, I still end up feeling hollow. Oh, this envy better not make me cry, I swear to God. It bops though. Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Sungmin sweetie. You sound great. But we had the Hall of Fame reference. I was also thinking, because we had all of the trophies and all of these like posters and stuff on the walls in the one teaser, and I was like, that makes me think of Hall of Fame. And I'm like, I don't know if that's just because the last album I listened all the way through was 5-star, or if that's like an actual intentional reference to be like, hey, that feels so far away of saying I'm like the best at what I do, like I deserve to be compared to all of these other important people. And it's, yeah, maybe, but that doesn't change the fact that I feel the way that I do. Despite the fact that someone might look at me and say, oh, you have everything, it doesn't change the fact that I feel hollow. And this B flat then sharp, my music theory is not great, but flat is like you're slightly under, right? Where you want to be. So it's not even this huge thing, right? Like I think it fits with any kind of mental health thing. I'm pulling more from like depression and stuff just because that's what I have experience with. But depression isn't like something specific happens that's, oh, I am upset about this thing that happened, or I'm sad because this thing happened. And you can point towards the cause. It's like sometimes you're just wake up and you're like, oh, we're doing depression today. All right. And you're just numb and empty, and you're just falling slightly short of where you want to be, right? It's not like there's some kind of big tragic thing that's happened. It's just that you can't enjoy the things that are going on in life, right? Like you can give someone who is having in the depths of depression a bunch of trophies and it's not going to make them feel better, because that's not the core issue, right? Like the core issue isn't that they aren't being appreciated. It's that it's something that is happening more internally. It's something that is just something that they have to figure out how to deal with on their own, right? And it doesn't mean that you can't like encourage them or show support or whatever. Giving them kind of trophies and accolades and all of these kind of celebratory things isn't going to be in line with what is going to make them feel more fulfilled in that, right? Like even the stack of my career that I built with Care, like kind of building up all of these building blocks, and I'm still falling short. Like I still feel like I'm falling slightly under where I want to be. The plus minus, right? Focusing on like negative versus positive, repeating unnecessary things. It's almost, I see this as like an internal dialogue of trying to find a justification for what you're feeling, right? Because again, Felix's line earlier was about like bucket list thing, like checking a bunch of things off. It's like I'm doing all of these things that like in any other moment in my life I'd be super excited about and I'd be super proud of myself and it would be this like amazing accomplishment for me to celebrate, and I can't enjoy it because I still feel hollow. Nothing can counter what I'm feeling. Am I focusing on negatives instead of positives? It's something happening that I can use to justify what I'm feeling. And the problem with something like depression or even like anxiety and stuff is that you can't feel that void, right? It's not because there's something specific happening that you're like, oh, that's what's causing the depression, because that's not how depression works. There's like ways for you to manage it, but sometimes it's just something you have to go through, and that can be really difficult when you're in the throes of it, right? This song. It's like a lower vocal. Gorgeous falsetto. Ooh, just before we get into more of it, I also think of the do you need love? Again, like just asking of, okay, can I fill the void? Can I have someone else, you know, around me who can fill me with feelings, right? Maybe I'm just focusing too much on the depression aspect because that's, again, what I kind of have experience with when it comes to like mental health stuff. Depression is like a lack of emotion, right? Like you're just emptied out, you've dissociated. And because of that, you can't get to anything that you're feeling. You can't find joy or happiness or sadness. Like you can't dig into those emotions. So it's like, can I find someone else to make me feel the way that I want to? If I'm with someone, will I feel better? If I feel loved, will I feel better? But even if I force myself to be alone, I'm still hollow, right? Even when I'm with someone, I'm hollow. I feel alone even when I'm with other people because they don't understand what I'm feeling, or I'm like hiding what I'm feeling because I'm trying to like be normal, right? I think that so many of us who have struggled with mental health stuff are trying to like not freak out people who are around us, right? You don't want to walk around and upset the people that do care about you because you're like struggling with something, but in that you like isolate yourself more because you're like trying to be considerate of them, but also struggling. Just so interesting. Even though like, even if I embrace everything and run, hollow. I can't run away from what I'm feeling, and it doesn't matter like how many things I do, how many accomplishments I have. Sometimes I'm just hollow, right? Like sometimes it's just how I feel, and it's sad, but again, I know the experience. I like to I keep trying. Positive. I love this buzzy synth that's following the vocal melody. Ooh. Eerie. Ooh. Ooh, okay. Just like moody, eerie. I love the slight echo again on everything. It makes it feel like, again, you're in this empty space. But he put like a little bit of, I don't know, like rasp or something in his voice, like his voice broke in part of that. And I was like, excellent vocal. And I love that you have someone like Hyunjin who has a little bit of a softer delivery a lot of the time when he's singing. He can definitely get into some of the like more kind of like aggressive delivery, but I feel like he does a really good job of kind of like lightening up his voice. And I think that he fits really well for that part, especially since he puts so much character and like emotion into his voice that I think it really carries in something like that where you're trying to like pull everything down and have this very vulnerable sounding moment in the song. Like eerie vocals in the back too. Ooh, gorgeous vocal there at the end. Whoa, that mixing. Ooh, okay, first off, that like back and forth in the mixing, crazy, but also scratched my brain in the right way, which is, I feel bad for bopping along to this song because it's sad, but I love the flip up that we got with Seungmin's vocals again, digging into some of those falsettos, very like light sounds that have this vulnerability to them, but I also like that we have a bit of an echo at the end too, and we don't like finish that and it just like echoes out, and the echo itself is like the implied hollow of being this big empty space. Oof. I feel bad because I'm like, that's a bop, but also the lyrics are gonna get me in my feelings. So like this music video scares me, not just because of the visuals that we got, but also I need y'all to not be coming for me. But in the teaser, we had Ian crying. So that's gonna take me out just in general. I need you to stop being like this. I need you to stop like getting me in my emotions. All right, I don't have English captions, so no one get mad at me for that. That's why we did a lyric video first. Also, just starting off, do we have like almost like marionette strings? It looks like it. Like you're going through the motions, but you're not actually there. Oh boy. Almost that's like scaffolding too. Ooh, I love the shadows. Almost like buried in trophies. Oh, yeah, with the globe too. Ooh. Ooh. I forgot about the curtains too, with the like curtains and you have the marionette strings. Dang, okay. Choreo though. We're on a road with the street light too. Ooh. Whoa. Okay, first off, he looks real cute with this little hat. I know that's not what we're focusing on, but he looks real cute. But that spin, like upside down, like already like disorienting. Choreo looks really cool. This is with my brain. Look that partner with. Ooh, the spotlight. Ooh, even I was saying spotlight before, but even the spotlight here, all of these chairs pointed towards him, but they're all empty, and he's kind of in like this void space. So it's even though he's performing or there's like an audience, he's still isolated. Going back to the like, even it doesn't matter who I'm with, I'm still alone, right? I'm not gonna talk about Bangtan. Oh, the like, awards, their names are on them. Oh, the confetti. Whoa. I like, okay, we had all of their names, like confetti, and they were like happy, but are they actually happy or are they just like going through the motions again? Puts me on edge. Also, does Hyunjin also have a cute little hat? Also, does this person not have a face? What's going on? That's crazy, they're like running. This was the gem we had before. Oh my god, the choreo. Oh! Ooh, even the like keeping a secret. Whoa. Okay, so many things. One, like these kind of like points of light, right? And like the necklaces, it's almost like they were like being like awarded them. And it's, I don't know, like maybe, again, these points of light, or I don't know, like the hope of it maybe? I don't know all the lore. I'm not caught up on all of the Stray Kids stuff. between 5-star and now. If there's things that have happened, I don't know about them right yet. But like the choreo was so good. We had the like curtain open up a little bit, so there's like light coming through. I love kind of this hazy lighting that we have in some of the scenes where they're kind of like smiling and being like, yeah, we like won something, in comparison to some of these like darker scenes. We're cutting to all these kind of like weird liminal spaces where you had like running and almost like breaking, like shattering. Like this in contrast to like this, right? All the different directions again. Whoa. Like trying to find their way out with all the different signs pointing in different ways. We have the exit signs, and even when they like follow to try and get out, they can't. Right? They just end up in like the same place. I mean, this outfit on Felix. Ooh, I love that leading the movement with the choreo. Oh my god, Ian's outfit too. Woo, was that? I was like, who was in the background? Was it also Benny when we had the like bucket that we had before? And then it's like looking at memories, right? But feeling on the outside of these joyful moments. Like you can't enjoy it. Oh, jeez. Trying to find all these points of light. Whoa. Broken glass? Oh no, we dropped them. Whoa. Ooh. Maybe we don't. Is that what we have before? It's like they're all struggling and trying to find these points of light. There's all these shattered, like the orbs or like the crystals that had these sources of light. Like they're all trying to find those, whether it's like looking in the window or the street light. We had the street light before with like Hyunjin when he's up in like the scaffolding. So is it almost like trying to like desperately find these bits of light, and even reaching into Han's chest and like pulling it out is almost like trying to take that from someone else, right? They were talking about in the lyrics of, can someone else fill me with feelings? Can someone else fill this void? And it's almost like that, like it's, you're so desperate for something to have that light to spark something in you instead of this like hollow emptiness that you're even willing to take it from someone else, and you don't like even realize what you're doing, right? Because Han's struggling and Lino's like, pretty, right? Like you don't even like fully understand that you're sapping someone of that like light and joy. The upside down of it again, that like disorienting. Ooh, like the camera flashing. Because that wasn't in the song, was it? Hello? Almost like you have to be on because there's cameras on you. And his like gem doesn't have the light in it anymore. Boy. Oh dear. Ooh, sorry, just like we have, okay, again, cameras flashing, like you almost have to be on because there's cameras on you, and them is like idols. Is, oh, we can't show that we're feeling all these things, that we're going through all these things internally, like you just have to deal with it. Or even like in the spotlight with Han like falling on his knees, is even if you like crack and fall and you do end up showing that you're struggling with something, that sells, right? Like sharks smelling blood in the water. If you show that kind of weakness, right? Everyone's going to be talking about it, whether or not it's like press talking about it, people who don't like you talking about it and using it as like a reason to look down at you, or even like fans, right? Like we worry about things. We end up talking to be like, what might be happening? And I think it's interesting to have it be Han, right? Because Han has struggled with stuff. He's had moments where he's been struggling with mental health stuff that like he needs help for and support for, and he's talked about that, and the other members have talked about that, and that's still something that is seen as, it can be seen as like a negative against him, or can be seen as something that is like noteworthy, right? Like even if we're talking about Han because we're legitimately worried about him, it's still like a talking point. It's still like putting a spotlight on it, and that can be really jarring. Like even this, like a parachute, and yet you're still like crash landing, right? Like it's oof. This video, even like this, like crawling to try and get into that light, and then you're still like falling short again, right? Reaching for like sunlight. I love that hollow. Oh dear. Being almost like tangled up in like your parachute was supposed to protect you. Oh no. Ooh. Love that like heartbeat almost move. Spotlights again. Oh, my sweet darling. Whoa. Curtains. Dang. Even just the, I know we got more stuff, but even just the like, it's almost like a light fixture falling. The lighting that you have at a theater or a venue, and it's like falling. Like the light itself is falling, and he like disappears. And the like curtain call. Whoa. Be careful. We've already established that this can hurt. Oh, I like putting them in the light and then they like shine again. Hello? Okay. But okay, a few things we got at the end. Like one is the kind of like trying to pick up the pieces. They had so many moments where they had like, these like gems or whatever, like these points of light, and they like dropped them and they like broke, and they're like trying to like desperately pick them all up. And I think that again is going to the desperation of you just want to hold on to those memories, like the happiness, the joy, the emotions, and you're just trying to find those points of light and hold on to them to the point where you're like kind of like hoarding them in this bucket. And even when they kind of like shatter and break apart, you're like, no, it's fine. I'll just sweep up the pieces and it'll be fine. No one has to know. And even like curtain call, this idea of, again, as them as performers, it's one of those things where it's like you have to keep it together. You have to put on the face of a performer, of an idol, because if you show up actually showing this like kind of empty emotion, this hollowness, it could be curtain call, right? Like you have to have a certain persona when you're a performer, especially when you're a K-pop idol. And if you're like, I'm actually going to talk about some of the things that I'm struggling with, that could have a negative effect on you. Like I was saying, the moment that you are struggling with something and it's something in the public eye, all the cameras go off because people want to talk about it, even if it's the downfall, right? People love the story of somebody falling from their pedestal a lot more than they like the story of somebody getting up onto it, right? That's just the way it is. The story of someone succeeding is not nearly as intriguing as someone tumbling from a height. So we have lots of them like falling, and I think that having even like the light fall and then Ian's gone from that setting is like, again, this the idea of a fall from grace in a lot of ways. And even just him trying to pick up the pieces of these kind of like shattered like crystals or orbs or whatever, again, there implies that they're fragile and they need to be taken care of. But also, even though he's trying to pick up the pieces, it's like drawing blood. It's like hurting him because he's trying to like desperately hold on to something that he needs to like move on from, almost. To if you feel like you need to just move on instead of holding on to something that's already broken, that's already gone, that's already lost its light. And that can be like a dream, right? That can be like a goal, that can be an aspiration that you had, only to find out that actually it's empty and it's not what you wanted. And then, but at the end, having a little bit of hope with Felix. Again, it's not like the light goes out forever necessarily. Sometimes you can get that light back, right? So if it's the dream of them perhaps like making music or being performers, and sometimes that might be a struggle for them and they might lose that spark, and it might feel like it's more hurting them than benefiting them, doesn't mean that they can't find that spark again, right? It doesn't mean they can't find the light in making music or being idols or being Stray Kids or whatever it may be, right? Sometimes you just are going through a tough period, right? Like sometimes you're just going through a difficult time and you need to remind yourself that there is like light at the end of the tunnel, and maybe you just need a break. Maybe you just need to try something else. Maybe you need to just look after yourself for a little while and not think about, how do I just keep running forward, right? Sometimes you just need to take a minute and check in with yourself and see what direction you need to go in next, right? All of these kind of like arrows pointing in all these different ways, even like circular. It doesn't feel like there's a way to get out other than feeling lost, even though you knew that there was supposed to be a specific direction forward. Even like them dancing on this road, right? Feeling like you're stuck going forward in that direction that you picked at some previous time, and now you're thinking, oh wait, maybe I'm not supposed to go in this direction, maybe this isn't where I'm supposed to end up. Dang, I didn't cry as much as I thought I would, but definitely heavy. I feel like there's definitely a lot of stuff to pull from that, which is usually the way with Stray Kids songs when they dig into some of the more complex inner thoughts and dialogues and stuff. And I think that this song very much kind of fits into some of that. Of even the song itself having a beat sound to it is a distraction, right? It's a putting on a persona of what is expected of them, right? A lot of us, when we sit down to listen to a new single from Stray Kids, expect it to be something that is like upbeat and loud and you can dance along to it. So having that be what it is sonically in contrast to what they're talking about lyrically, I think is, again, playing off of that, having a certain persona that you have to put forward and feeling like you need to just be on, even though you're struggling with something internally, and it's all pretend, right? Like you're all putting on this face of being happy or being excited about an accomplishment that you have, but inside you're struggling a lot and it feels like you're falling. And I think that is something that we all struggle with, and it's, I think, something that is a lot trickier when you have a lot of eyes on you, right? When you're in the public eye, like I was saying, everyone's looking for that moment, right? Especially people who can make money off of it, or people who can get attention from it, or people who already don't like you. So it feels like you have like more of an incentive to kind of keep everything together because you don't want to lose everything that you've built. Going back to like Tangbin's line of the stack of my career, right? Like this idea of building up all these building blocks of what they've created, of the career that they have, and feeling like it can all tumble down in an instant if they don't keep everything together. There's a lot of pressure there, right? The more success you have, the more people are going to be looking for you to fall, like the farther you have to fall. And I think that is something to keep in mind of when we're talking about idols or musicians or anyone who's in the public eye. I think that we don't fully understand how much pressure there is to be on and to be performers, and how much we don't know about what's going on with them, which is fine. They don't have to tell us about everything that's going on with their life, but something to keep in mind when we're looking at the stuff that they're posting or creating, that there's probably a lot of things that we don't know or understand. And I always appreciate when Stray Kids digs into some of those things. They've never shied from digging into some of those topics when it comes to lyrics and songs, and a great song and a wonderful performance from all of them when it comes to like vocals. But I feel like there's probably so many complexities that I can't even fully pull apart because I don't know about like language translation things and also the stuff that came previously before the song. But definitely let me know down in the comments your thoughts and feelings after that song. But I hope you enjoyed listening to that along with me. You can click this place to go into my previous reactions, or you can subscribe to the next time I post a Stray Kids reaction. I will see you in the next video. Bye.